turn the video because I was like, oh my God, my hair's driving me crazy. Where it's like leaning over that way. So I was like, move it this way. And then maybe I won't mess with it so much. Right now I have a big urge to mess with it. There's a couple things I want to talk about, but one thing too about the shopaholicism is, you know, and the consumerism and stuff. Well, I don't know if that's any better. It's this weird way. It's like I have to lean for this camera. I feel like I'm like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like these weird angles. I don't know. And I just washed it. And so I couldn't even finish drying it. The thing flew off too. And then it was so hot. I couldn't even put it back on there. And so then, I was like, okay, well, you're done drying your hair. This whole morning, everything is so disjointed. Everything is so weird. God, it's so weird. But, oh my gosh, something just walked around in there. Fuck. God, it's so creepy. Okay, so, God, that was so creepy. God, it looked like his arm was dragging on the ground. Oh, so fucking creepy. Okay, whatever's in there, like I always remember, everything comes in all shapes and sizes. Like there's nothing to be scared just because something is odd looking or creepy looking. See, they've got us programmed that, you know, but that doesn't mean it's, you know, mean or evil or anything like that. And anyways, so I'm trying to not look over there. Anyways, it feels like that now there's like all this movement up towards the thing that's really dark in the hallway. It's really dark. It's only 4 or 7 in the morning. I woke up, last time was weird. It was just fucking weird. But the last time I woke up, I don't know what it was, 2 or 2:30 or something. And then, I started getting so hungry that I was like, oh my God. First, too, I felt something crawling around and then crawling in there. And then I was like, oh my God, is a worm about to come out? And then it just goes right back. It's like, oh, motherfucker. And then that just bothered me. And so then I was laying there, I don't know, just thinking. I don't know, it's hard to... and I guess maybe it is like the energy at that time is just comes in if you're open to the energy, like I don't know, there's a lot of talking. And so, you know, that is hard enough to close down. And then, you know, thinking about the worms crawling around my fucking face, you know, if they're just, sometimes I'll get a tickle right up by my eye too. And I'll think, oh my God, is one gonna come out of my eye? Oh, I don't want what's going on my eye. I just want him to just be flushed down. I just want him to go through the inside and go out. And I don't want to have to deal with them coming out of my face. But, anyways, so when I was laying there, I started getting so hungry. I kept trying to go back to sleep. And gosh, she is so cute. She is, I'm not going to jinx myself, but damn, I can't even tell you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I mean, while my daughter was here, we went on a 2-mile walk one day and she was just going. And even when we would come up to, like, there'd be a big log going across the path. And one of them, I was like, I found a place where the log was up and I go, we'll go under. And I showed her and she was like, hell no. And so I was still stayed on the other side. I kept going, yes, come. And she's going up and down the log like, oh my God, what are you fucking kidding me? So she goes and she was like totally creeped out going under it and scared of this stuff in front of her. But she did it. But then when we came up to another one that crossed, she was like, and I was like, okay, let's go around. And she's like, no. And she was like powered through even though she got stuck on it for a minute. And oh my gosh, she's so cute. She wanted to keep up with those other dogs. She wanted to go. But 2 miles the one day and then 2 miles the next day. Yesterday we went on 3 walks. And I swear to God, she'd go on more. She just wants to go out and walk around and sniff things. And she has a place right here because this eye keeps dripping and her nose keeps being runny. And this eye will start dripping too, but I just keep thinking this is, she's always had whatever, some kind of, because she even had to have surgery on it when she was a baby. And see, when they do that stuff, all it does is add scar tissue. But it's something with their drainage tube or something. And it was like clogged up, you know, probably like what they do for kids with their ears or something. And their, I don't know. But anyways, so they unclogged it supposedly, which probably just created scar tissue. But also, it seemed like she had something in her nose. And she's always sniffing. She's a hound. And she's always getting down there. She's always wanting to get a scent. And so she'll do, that's most of our walk is her finding it, and she'll just sniff, 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 sniff. And then, but she came up and she started sneezing and sneezing and sneezing, and I was wondering, maybe she does have something stuck in there. It seems kind of swollen, I don't know. But for me, I feel like mine is some sort of bots or something that they've put into our environment to try and get us sick, to attack us from the inside. That's what I think is in, you know, even if it is some sort of parasite, they're doing that on purpose too. And so all of this stuff, and they, you know, they give them an extra like steroid or something to make them. I think all this stuff is. Yesterday it blew my mind when you really wrap your head around how far they'll go. So apparently, your eyes need the sun to go through your eyes and reflect into your pineal gland. And something about our cycles and stuff like that, like we need the sun, and it does something for, you know, for our health, like all of this stuff. Like we need this, like just the same way as people start talking about the grounding, how we didn't realize how important it was to take the rubber shoes off and to stand on the ground. And that why the whole invention of the rubber shoes to keep us disconnected from the ground, because we needed the current to go through us. It's the same thing with the sun. So they purposely, that's why I had been talking about these lights and how much I know they've affected me. And I need to get the other kind. But mostly I sit with my lights off. But, and I'm doing the castor oil. So many people are doing castor oil on their eyes, and their eyes are getting better. You know, I just don't. Mine have a lot of damage. Mine has a lot to overcome. But, you know, I'm not giving up. And so, anyways, okay, because I'm already jumping around. So let me think where I'm at. Because now it's like, okay, there's this. Okay, so so when I got up, I'll finish that. So when I got up, and my stomach's growling, so I'll probably growling, is I decided I was going to treat them, and I got up and took some diatomaceous earth. I was like, bitches, get the hell out of me. I don't want you in there. And so, I don't know. I mean, I've done so many different things in these, whatever these things are that I feel crawling around in my face, that is, they've continued. And so, I don't know. Who knows what the hell, you know, we all have in us. You just got to keep doing everything you can to try and detox and just take care of your health you know, the best you can. And it is really best to do as much cooking from scratch as possible, because every single little bit of things that they mess with is, they mess with it. And I was thinking too, you know, I mean, I got to still have gratitude for the whole thing because of the chickens. And, you know, I mean, like I could figure out I don't know, even if, well, to me, it's like a conjecture that it's kind of ridiculous, because I have food and I'd be able to probably survive a fucking year. And, just off of beans and rice and potato salad, and just the fact that I know you don't need to eat very much to survive. You know, you need a very small amount of food, a fraction of what most people eat. And so, but my thing is Stella, you know, like she doesn't know what's going on. And especially like, I mean, her whole life I've been feeding her meat and chicken and stuff like that. And so I was feeding her pork roast all the time. And now to know how bad pork is, oh my gosh. Like, fuck. Pork, I had bad shit. So okay, because let me think, because there was some other thing I was saying too. So I did an attack on the parasites today. There's a lot going on in the astral, whatever, the realms that are the closest realm to us. Um, it is like a merging kind of thing. It just keeps opening more, because the more the people open, the more it opens. Like, the more the energy, I don't know, it's something, but that, that makes a difference. The more people, then it becomes more a part of it or something, like the shift. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I think, I think that makes sense. But anyways, so, because there was something else I wanted to say about the, man, there was something okay, well, anyways, this one thing that, man, I've got a bunch of things. Ugh, it's so hard, because then it's like, it's like a whole bunch, but then it's hard to, like, to differentiate or decipher them, like to pull them apart. Sometimes the stuff seems kind of bunched up when it is a bunch of stuff. Like, sometimes I gotta just not look at very many. One thing too I noticed, and I bet you a lot of other people, so I want to say this real quick too, is I noticed I'm always I do these kinds of things all the time, and I've got to be doing something with my fingers. And even before, like, I'll be standing, like I could be standing with my mom in a line waiting to go in a restaurant or something, and I'll sit there and do that to my hair, like, just keep doing this, and she'll be like, you seem like you're so nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous at all. And so, and I do it all the time. Like, I can just be sitting here and just watching, and it's like my fingers have got to be doing something. And so anyways, I think that is something that they try and say, like, is a disorder or whatever. But I think it's like a natural processing or something. Any weird things that you do that they say, like, oh, that's a tick, that's this, oh, you need to take this because you shouldn't be doing that, something's wrong with you. Don't listen to that shit. Don't micro analyze the stuff that you do. It's just you. Don't worry about it. Okay, I came back while I was looking at, while I was talking about that. It's like flu. Okay. So, I'll go back to that one thing that I was gonna, because the thing that I had just seen was this woman who was talking about her dream. And so today's the 31st. So, and there's already supposedly some stuff happening. Like, there's something supposedly already happening about the internet. And it does seem like the censorship is less. Like, I don't know, I mean, a lot was going yesterday on my thing. But then this morning it wasn't so much. But then I've been up since the middle of the night. So I don't know. There's still some kind of, there's some kind of movement, and I don't know, if it's like a slow. I don't know, but there is some sort of progress in some direction, because there was a lot of, but some of it was like, oh my gosh, some of these people, like, they are fucking losing their minds, man. I don't remember. I did a whole bunch of videos. I could have done way more. I mean, they just don't ever shut up. And, oh my God, it sounds like I'm being mean or something, but I'm serious. Like, there's a lot of talking. And, like, if you're listening, there's a lot. And you can be easily distracted and be, focused on your own stuff and not listening. It's just really loud to me, so I hear this stuff. Like, I feel like I'm having more problems staying in this, ground. Oh, the light thing. Okay, so the the stuff with the light bulbs and stuff like that. So anyways, that is the thing with the glasses and the contact lenses. That's to block this relationship out, what needs to occur for natural progression inside of your body, like a natural balance inside of your body. And so the sunlight reflects into your eyes, and then and I'm sure there's a lot more like about micro, macro, and lenses, and this place, and seeing, and projection, and stuff like that. But that's the interference, and that could be why so many people get so caught up in the illusion. And so, yeah, I wonder about the blind people. I think that they are kind of in their own minds, anyways. They're creating their own reality, anyways, because they get, yeah, I don't know, because they have the light. The sunglasses. That's another thing too, because there's been so much talk about you're not supposed to wear sunglasses. There's something that happens to your eyes, and so you're supposed to do that. But now it's that much further, where the contacts and glasses, but they create the eye diseases. They make our eyes get worse, so that we need the glasses, so that we need I mean, just think about, I remember when they told me I needed glasses. It was so like you could read the chalkboard. Like, look at that right there. Like, do we really need to fucking read a chalkboard? I mean, seriously? In life? How often? I mean, there's signs and stuff like that are up. But we could also, if we were going to be doing their roads and stuff, a lot of it could be like colors and stuff. There doesn't need to be so much. It's all so much control. It's all so much overstimulation. It's all so much. It's to overwork your mind, to keep you stressed, to keep you on this dopamine, until parts of you just start giving out and shit. But the sun is supposed to come in, and it does something, and it goes into your pineal gland, and I don't know, there's a whole occurrence. So they're trying to block that. And this doctor I heard talking about this relationship with the eyes and the sun, and he was saying that probably because of this blocking is what kind of created the Great Awakening. But I know the Great Awakening is, it's a set in stone. It's a thing that was always going to happen. How it happens, that is the story. And so, I don't know the story. We'll know the story once the story is over, and then we tell the story. But right now, we don't have all the parts. We don't know everything yet. So it's still in the process. We're still on the train heading for the destination. We're not there yet. And so, we have to allow things to play out. But yesterday, because the one, and I don't know if I had said this already on here. I think I had, about the woman in the Target. Yeah, because she did that whole thing. Oh my God, she was so upset. And the 7-year-old, fucking 7-year-old. Why does this 7-year-old need trans clothes? Like, what? My trans child needs to go to, and Target is so disappointing. That was just like, and then there was some more things, whatever, but it was kind of like really triggered in my mind. Like, Jesus Christ, man. When I was 7 years old, we were running, we were trying to see who could run the fastest and who could jump the highest. And, it was like that kind of stuff. Like, you really, like, think about you from 2 years old to 7 years old. Like, it's like, I think around 5 years old, 6 years old is when you start with that, like, competition with the other kids. Like, well, what can you do? Well, I can do this. Well, what can you do? Well, I can do this. And all the kids are kind of like, comparing notes, like, and trying to see, can I do that? Oh, I don't know. I can do, and that's when they notice, like, hey, that one has a different thing down there. Why is that one different than mine? And, they're just starting to recognize and understand their world, trying to get control of their vehicle, and trying to become like assimilate into their environment. And then and so much of the manipulation. That's why they want them in preschool and all that shit. They want them fucking looking at blackboards and listening to women just, or men, these voices just sit. And, I bet you that there is, because of how much chaos is in the rooms now too. Like all this stuff goes together, the AI, the overstimulated minds, the devices, the control, the program, all of it goes together. Like it's all a part of the story. And we'll have the whole story, when the whole thing is finished playing out. And so right now we're just putting together the pieces and seeing, all of the destruction that was caused. Like I think this generation of kids that is, I would say they're probably, well, fucking 7 years old. I would say probably, I don't know, motherfucker, goddamn. It could be 3 years old. Like, I would say 3 years old. Hope to God they're not 2 years old or 1 year old, but fuck, who knows with some. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this whole thing from, I don't know, less than a year old possibly, up until probably 25 years old. I would say that whole spectrum. You know how like there was the boomers that we said, like after World War II, all the soldiers came home and everybody just did it up and everybody got pregnant and had babies, and it was the boom, that was the baby boom. And so we're gonna have a thing like that, of a category, because the baby boom was a very specific time. This will be and those kids, I think, are going to have a really, a lot of challenges overcoming their over-sexualized programming. Like they're cut off from certain things and they're overdone in other areas, and it's going to be, a lot of stuff. There's going to be to get over, to reprogram, because they've been so heavily influenced. And it is sad that so many parents and stuff and people don't realize, like, these kids have been sexually abused by our system, or by our society. So this is going to be a big group of kids, and it's going to be a lot of, teaching and learning, and but it is going to be a significant impact in this period of time, and it is going to really reflect back to us through the children. And it's something, that we have to see, because it is that we're all linked together in the progression of our evolution as beings. And so, and as the spiritual is not just the beings, because the beings is just like the avatar, just like the spaceship, just like the shoes, just like the car. It is the evolution of the universe, of our energy, of who we are and stuff like that. And so anyways, so I did a video, it was yesterday on TikTok, saying about, like, when I was a kid, the kids were focused on, running, jumping, got the competition of who can, do this faster, who can do it better and shit like that. And I said, sure the hell weren't thinking about who we were going to bed, later on in life. And I said, I didn't know, I could think about how long, well, to people who have the perspective of other generations, and think about how long kids really are like, if you even try and say, oh, you gonna like him, you gonna kiss him, oh, gross, that's sick, I literally fucking saw a girl yesterday say that all us people who look at that flag and think anything about sex, that we're the perverts. The flags and all that stuff has nothing to do with sexuality, it has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with it. We're just the pervs that think about that. Pretty sure is that people are claiming and being proud of their sexuality. You know, their sexuality is who they want to have sex with. It's claiming, like it's saying, you know, it's gotten out of control from where it was, where it started. So it's, you know, it's been like the corporate, oh, just the same thing, yeah, with the chickens, because, you know, now I'm buying these chickens and I keep making these chickens for Stella, and it's like, fuck, man, I don't want to fucking go out and kill these chickens. God damn, it's gonna be hard shit. Like, she's gonna have to get on the beans or something. Like, you're gonna have to get off the chickens because mama ain't going out and fucking slaughtering chickens. Like, no, no. I'll go to a small farm and I'll buy theirs. But even when it gets, there is a definite cutoff that we have with the food. And it is because as soon as you try and cross into that and you start thinking about killing your own food and, you know, going out and killing your own cow and shit like that, it just is like, I mean, some people, it doesn't, you know, they're more adapted to it because they were raised around, or, you know, but most of us, we're just we've so adapted to our food being wrapped up and set on a thing out for us to just run up and grab. It's not, you know, we have to go out and, you know, hunt it, shoot it, pluck its feathers, skin it, none of that shit. And so, you know, it's getting that, right there, to me, I think is going to create a lot of vegans, personally. We'll see. But I think a lot of people are not going to want to go out and do that. But, you know, I would support, but still, even going and doing that, I wouldn't, you know, get a couple chickens a week or something, because then I'd be like, fuck, I'm just keep killing all this stuff every week. And, you know, I don't know. It seems heartless that, but they just fill the stores and then they throw the shit in the dumpster if we don't buy it. They don't fucking go and give it to homeless shelters and stuff. They just throw it in the garbage. I cannot believe the shit I have seen people going and getting out of dumpsters. Fucking animals, plant, all this stuff. Like, why in the fucking hell wouldn't you set that out on a curb? Put it for a penny. God. It's the corporate evilness in this, you know, it's so yuck. But, man, that girl having a fucking fit meltdown, that we are the ones who have the problem because we just think that the LGBTQ flag or any of that stuff represents anything about sex. Go to the goddamn parade. I mean, I know so many gay people who don't even want to fucking go to the parades because it has become so sexualized. Like, it is, they make it, they've turned it fetishy. It isn't about love and pride. It's about fetish and perversion. And they don't, and that's where, you know, the corporate wants to take it. And it's as far as the people allow it to go. You know, I hope that people start realizing when you see all this sex in movies and stuff like that, especially when they're putting, you know, these, I don't care if they're 26 years old, when they're putting them in the script to play a certain thing, the fantasy is set. You want to watch young kids doing dirty, then you turn it on and it's all over. I mean, Netflix is flooded with it. Like, you can find it everywhere. And, you know, so hopefully people are going to start realizing that, you know, it's the perverts out there making these movies and putting this shit right in your face, and it's what you allow. It's what you participate in. I mean, so many people think I'm just so old-fashioned because I don't want to fucking watch people have sex in movies. And it's like, well, there's a hidden agenda there, for one thing. I'm like, oh, wheeze. There's a hidden agenda there, for one thing. And there is, it's, I'm not a voyeur, but I don't know. I just think it will go as far as people let it. Like, they would have it, you know, your evening TV could be a hardcore porn instead of soft. Like, they'd be okay with that. They'd make it a show. Like, oh, well, we got to go before the board. Oh, this board says that. And then, oh, this person just snuck it in. Oh, well, this person snuck it in. This person. It's just the games they play. They do this. I've fucking seen them do it over a fucking time. But so in the video, or the video that I did where I said about the people the kids, oh my God, I could not believe how attacked I was getting. That I was such a hateful bigot against gay people. Like, I hate gay people. I'm biased against gay people and all this stuff. I was like, what are you talking about? And this one girl, she just kept arguing. There were so many people I blocked yesterday. I already blocked some this morning too. And the one trans person who I talk about that I really like, and she's the one who's going back with, she was a liberal, then she became a conservative, and then she's whatever, how many days, but then she was being so attacked by the conservatives that now she's just like, I don't want anything to do with either group. They're hateful as shit. And I said a comment in hers, and I said, yeah, both sides are the same. It's created, the government creates this just to create division. It's time to end the government. There's like 60 comments on there, and some of them are me, but one of the persons I blocked, I don't know if my comments, because it was, I don't know, did I block? I'm pretty sure I blocked one person on there, because there is like, you would not believe the attack. One of the last attack that I just had was a guy coming in and telling me how stupid that is. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. However he said it, and I was like, okay, this can't be real. This gotta be a bot. And I go and look, oh no, it's a real fun guy. And he has a couple thousand followers. And I went in to see, like, what is he in here talking about? And one of the videos was just one of these weird ones that people do. Like, there's so many of these just, I don't know, lip sync or whatever. And then another one, I don't know. To me, his content, seemed, what was it? One of them was, if you women think that you're being treated bad or something. It was just like, so, but to think, to not be able to see both sides are the same, all these people coming in and attacking me, I was shocked. I was seriously shocked about that. And then, to the point that today, if it doesn't stop, I'm going to probably just go in and delete my comment, because it's absurd. I don't have time. I don't have energy for the bullshit. Like, I don't give a shit. You fucking think, like, that's your problem. You want to divide? You want to think one side is different than the other? That's your problem. You really, really want to believe, like, the conservatives are so concerned with what you're doing that they're going to dedicate their lives to try. They don't give a shit. They just want their freedom. They don't give a shit what you do. You go do you. Just keep away from them and their family. That's all they care about. And the other people, like, I don't even know. To me, they've just created a whole marginalized group. Like, I think that they do this, I think that they create a few. I think that they create the marginalized group, and then that they go in and continually attack these groups. And I think that is going to happen. I think that this is going to be bad. Like, today's the 31st instead of the 1st. So and then this happens every time that a date is built up. Think about this. They're damaging our eyes so that we can't get the sun in them. So now the date. Okay, so they've got a master plan. They've got a long game. So keep that in mind. So they have all these days that have come and gone where people get so worked up and, so panicky. And so then the date comes and goes, and then all these people see nothing's going to happen. Just what they're doing right now with the money thing. As now I'm seeing all this, like, oh, they're like saving the debt seal. They're going to do this and that. And this happens all the time and stuff like that. They're tricking you. That's a trick. And that is like, you're being, you're getting all these warning shots but you just want to go back and sit back and just continue to be dependent on them and go back to your comfort zone. So when you want to go back to your comfort zone, it's going to continue to happen because these are your warning shots. So tons of people are going back to their comfort zone. So that's just the way it is. And so all of this stuff is leading up. So the dollar is going to crash. This is a game. And so then so they have the all these dates, where people get all worked up and think this is going to happen or that's going to happen. And so now the 31st and the 1st, there's a whole thing about the 31st and the 1st with the financial collapse. So, and it could, like, I don't know, nobody knows the dates. That's one thing. And that is, how they manipulate it. Nobody knows the day of whatever, but it's like, nobody knows any of the dates. You don't know the dates. That's where you got to have faith and trust. And, it's not like you're trusting this guy who hates you in the sky. You're really trusting your higher self. You're further ahead of you self. Your more evolved self. You just trust them. And so but when the people always go back to that relax mode, just go back to, see, nothing's going to happen. Oh God, you're so crazy. Just relax. And so slip back into that. And then this weekend starts all of these events. It's like the start out for the whole month. And so, okay, so we have all of these missing explosives. We got this stage set where we have that they have been pushing. I've seen this, and I don't know if I'm seeing conservative. I mean, I don't know who I'm seeing share this, but the certain group of media is really playing up this Christian terrorist group thing. Like, all of the people who now are Republicans and Christians are now on that list. Be scared, the terror. So but the other people believe it. They believe it because it's their media, it's their programming. It's not just like they say one crazy thing. No, they say a whole bunch of things that lead to a thing. Remember the long game. We've always got the long game. So it's not like they're just saying this one thing and all these people are just so wacky because they believe it. No, it's a building up. They set the stage. This isn't. So you got to keep in mind that the long game, like, they damage our eyes so we can't get this sun. So our whole system's fucked up. So they put rubber on our feet so we can't ground. Like, these people are wicked, man. So so they've got all of these the stage set with the certain group that feels so marginalized, who's been so heavily under attack. And notice how they create the attacks. They put out something that's so over the top. They create the tension. The people who are going to get mad, they know they're going to get mad. They know they're going to start arguing. They know that they're creating tension. And then the group of people who feel like it's their group who's under attack. It's them. They take it personally, like, you're attacking us. You're attacking my family. But see, it was all created. That whole fucking, I just saw him again yesterday. The promoting, the bullshit with that guy is aggravating. He's being so used too, but he's letting himself be used. What is his name? I keep wanting to say Daryl. Dylan. Dylan. He's the one who is, he has really got stuff going. So, but that's his role that he's playing. So but so you got all of these people up at arms because, you won't accept that. Like, even on my, on my post where I had said about the kids and jumping and stuff. So all these people coming in and telling me, I'm biased and I hate gay people and stuff like that. And then, some coming in and telling me, oh, well, kids want to do that. Kids want to. And I'm like, well, how old a kid are you talking about? And then this person's like 13, 14, 17. Like, okay, I'm talking about 7-year-olds. I'm talking about little kids. And I don't even know about, their swimwear. Like, are they just what all swimwear in this whole line is set up for the binding and the tucking and all that stuff? Like, I don't know, but they have, the kids involved in this clothing line that has this whole setup. And so, the woman who's so upset because her 7-year-old can't access it. It's like, well, she can at the back of the store. It's like the back of the bus. Oh my God. We're so shamed. It's like, oh my God, damn. And then plus you've got like you do have these nutty people going in, wanting to go viral and stuff to confront people. But I mean, the people who go and do the heinous crimes, those people are MK, they're not in their right mind. And they've got a lot of different ways of doing this shit. So anyways, I see some stuff that is way over the top, but I've seen on both sides. And I don't think, just because somebody's, beats somebody up doesn't make them a murderer, so there is, it's all a spectrum. So anyways, the people, are 13, 14, 15-year-old. It's not in the same category. And it's just so weird too, because when you hear these kids talking about like their teachers inviting them to after school events, and then you have this person come in and start telling you, you can tell them your secrets and they'll keep them from your parents. They'll get you the meds, the hormones, everything you need, all of this stuff. And how many kids, they're grooming. They fucking know who to invite. They know who to get involved and stuff. And just because, some kids go home and tell their parents or whatever, like they don't know the conversations at everybody's dinner table. They're just, but see, like they're rolling the dice, but we're in this time where it's all to be exposed. Like before, when they would roll the dice, they could get away with it. Now, when they roll the dice, everything is going to be exposed all the time. Like the people are going to constantly be exposed for what they're doing. Like the stuff that keeps coming out about people in communities and stuff. Like it's going to be like what I said. It's going to be so many shocking things, not just like people who are idolized, but also people who are in communities that people respect and have no idea, and people who have trusted them, business owners. Like it's gonna get wild. And so the dream. Okay, so this woman I saw this morning, she was talking about that she had this dream, and so then she pulled the dream up, and it was a couple months ago she had this dream, and it was her relatives, and it was her 2 nieces and her sister or something. They were planning this party, and they were talking about this date and stuff in this dream. And then she heard real loud, it said, don't have the party on June 3rd. June 3rd will be a catastrophe. A catastrophic event is coming June 3rd. It was a message like that. And so she was like weirded out, and so she called her sister the next day, and she got together with her sister, and her brother were both on the phone because she had them both on the phone. She was telling them the stream. And the sister was like, wait a minute, what? And so she was telling her, and she said that she was sitting there with the niece, and they were planning, and they were going to have a birthday party on June 3rd. And the person's birthday is June 10th, but they were having the party on June 3rd. And so she's wanting her to be, tell me again, like, what are you saying? And so Anyways, she was telling her all that. And so then now all of a sudden she has realized that it's almost June 3rd. And, we have all of these, remember all these explosives are missing. And, when you think about the tunnel, okay, so when something goes missing between Wyoming and California, there's a lot of open space. Like when you do road trips, you see there's tons of open space. It wouldn't be that hard, like to go in and, line up some trucks and get this stuff. But do they really want to be driving these bumpy trucks with these explosives or something all across, trying to keep hidden? Like, I don't know. Or what's going on with the tunnels? Or is there really open tunnels? Did they clean them out? Are they open? Are they being manned? Are they flooded? Like, I don't know. Could they load stuff up on an airplane out in the middle of a desert? Yeah. Could they fly it over? Yeah. Could they go down in the tunnels and set them up and put certain destinations, certain places, already have them set in place? Yeah, they fucking did that. I mean, what'd they do in the towers, man? That shit was set up. Yeah, they didn't do it that morning. So they're probably, ever since we were told that stuff, and who knows, that stuff could have been missing. That stuff could have never even existed. That could be the one side trying to let us know that there's about to be this big thing that's going to happen. And so that we're all on our toes, like, there's a big thing of that stuff that goes boom, is out there, and we don't know where it's at. And, we know it's probably between those areas. They didn't go backwards, but they could have. They could have gone backwards. They could have divided it up into a whole bunch of different and gone a whole bunch of different directions. We could have it underneath a whole bunch of different places that is going to be completely unexpected. They could have the whole goddamn thing under Yellowstone. Like, we have no idea that where, what, or any of the stuff that's going to happen. I would think, because they've set the stage, is, they've got it set up. They've got the fall guy. They've created this whole, terror group that is out to, take over and, not let you, whatever the hell, the threats are. I'm not really sure. Like I've heard so many conservatives say, is that we all have gay and trans people in our families. Nobody has issues with this shit anymore. If you find somebody who has issues with it, it's like, some 90-year-old person, some 70-year-old person who, doesn't have that, they just haven't crossed over their programming. They're still programmed in the, that's perverted. And, with that is why there's so much of the other part is being played. But that was the whole thing, was these old people who thought they were perverted. Why gay people wanted to be just accepted and respected, and not thought of their sexual preferences not to be seen as sexual perversions. That they were about love. They weren't just, but then, like I said, the 80s got real, dirty in the clubs. And that's when they introduced the sickness, and, they created so much chaos, and, people seeing people as dirty. Like, they do all this stuff, man. They do it all. They do it all. And then we play the parts that entertain them, where we fight and argue and blame each other while it's these people above us that are doing it all. Anyways, but we go in, the stages get set, and we go in and play the parts. It's when people get in touch with themselves and quit playing out in the game like that. When they start getting more in touch with themselves, they won't play into the hand of these people, because you see through it. And but so it's shocking how many people really think one side's better than the other. But that's why we have to go through this big ego death, because we can't. I mean, how can you live in the age of Aquarius? How can you live in unity and community when you have these people in ego who think they're better than somebody else? So we got to go through this. It's the great equalizer. It's the come to Jesus moment, I always say, but it is the great equalizer. It's whatever brings you, in a crisis. Nobody's running around, well, do you have a penis? Do you have a vagina? Where do you go to the bathroom? Nobody's running around asking questions like that. In crisis, you're focused on surviving and helping one another, and you go into fight or flight, and there's all the different groups, like somebody can go, there's freeze now apparently. So fight, flight, or freeze. And, so you got the people who are running, you got the people who are fighting, they're going to grab up the people who are frozen, and they're not going to be asking, who'd you vote for or anything of that shit. So, I really don't think anybody would give a fuck what color someone's hair is or what color their hat is when shit comes down. But I think that there's going to be, especially that girl's dream, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, the stage is set. They've created the fall guy. They've got the weapon. They've got the event coming this weekend. They've got everybody that thought that it was going to be all this stuff that was going to go down. Then they start relaxing. These people go out, who want to jump right out there. I am prideful. I am supportive of this group. And it's going to be a slaughterhouse, I think. I think it's going to be mass occurrences. And it's going to be bad. And I hope not. I hope it isn't. But I definitely would not be going to any pride parades. But, the people that go, they were supposed to go. The people that are there are supposed to be there. The people, and not everybody will be killed. Some people will be there to save somebody's life. So that's why I can't interfere and say, don't go, don't do this. You got to listen to yourself. You got to listen to your internal. I want to, I've got gay daughters, like, they're gonna be heading to that parade just like every other year, and I don't know. I can't just. I mean, that is one thing that I have been learning through all of this stuff while my daughter's been traveling, all these different things that people keep doing and stuff, and I'm like, don't do that. Oh, this weekend, oh no, that, and I can't keep doing that. It is like the boy who cried wolf. I can't sit there like, and maybe it is that they're going to go and, save somebody's life. And, it's going to be, a blessing that they were there. So it's like I can't interfere with that kind of stuff. But whatever somebody puts the balance out in life, wherever you put the balance out, you are always going to put it out. So it's not like you're going to do something different than you were always going to do. It's always going to play out the way it's going to play out because you were always going to do what you were going to do. So that's a given. There's no getting around that. It's always, and you don't know what it is till you look back. Like, we have to go forward, even through the fog, even through the dark, even through the storm, and trust that there's going to be something better on the other side. When you think about that representative, too, of the micro and macro of that time in the desert, I think of some Bible story or something of the long time in the desert of not knowing, and see that, but you have to have the trust. And so those kinds of things, those stories represent the things that play out. And so this long extended time where we have to really use our faith and our trust and our own intuition to get through it, that is our time in the desert, And then I think it is it the time in the desert. I think in that story is this because I heard Roseanne and Juan talking, because she talks a lot of religious stuff. So does he. He's very religious too. Of religious stories. I don't know how practicing religion, but knows religious stories. And there's something about the story of Esther that they kept talking about or something. And I don't know if this is like that kind of thing. And I'm not even sure if I say this story wrong, because I don't know all the Bible stories. But I think it seems like there was all the people who were sent to the desert or something. And so they're out there I don't know, 40 years or something. I don't know how long it was. They were out there for a long time. And then the bad guys came to do the attack. So the big attack. Then the bad guys came to do that. But then the hand of God swept in and flooded. So they all got into the place, but then the water came. And I may be merging two stories, but there is the concept of having the faith and then the energy changing and going the other direction and wiping that part out. And then, because it's that story is how it's replaying now, is that because humanity has suffered throughout this trickery, and then once they get to it is like wiping the slate clean. So we get to go through this exposing, so we have to see, and that can be very traumatic. A lot of healing that has to come from that alone. And so all of that stuff. And then in the spiritual advancement that occurs as you go inside, as you open yourself up, and then you so is that turning it spiritual. But the storm part, where everything turns, there's a big event, a big occurrence or something. And see, that is what we're about to have happen. But there's going to, because it's a reset, it's not going to be like there's just one. There's going to be a bunch, and it's going to keep picking up speed, like how things are picking up speed. Like, it's weird how it was like so dragging. The energy was like, it felt like Groundhog Day, like every day. And now it seems like it's going so fast that things aren't even connected anymore. The things are just going and going and going. And it's like, man, did that happen? What did that go with that? Like, it's just pockets of time, all, so all of that kind of explosive kind of energy, and then kind of explodes, and then we go through that trauma, because that's going to be rough. Whatever the great awakening part of it, because there's going to be more things. Like we have more shifts that are going to happen. The whole landscape has to change. So this event is just to get everybody woke up, so that they can start their healing, so that they can start, really recognizing this world. Because as long as they're holding on to that other one, how's it supposed to switch? I mean, try talking to them about the new one. They can't. They're holding on so tight to the other one. They don't understand. So see, the other one has to be ripped out from under them, has to be ripped out of their hands. Like I said, 2 years ago, and then be ripped out of their hands. And if you're holding on too tight, like so many are, it's going to hurt. There's going to be damage. And so that part, we got to go through all that part too, or all of the trauma, the aftermath of the storm. But there's going to be the cleanup is where it's going to get really good. We're going to get so much technology introduced. We're going to get so much is going to be given back. All of the resources that were our God-given rights, our born, like our born inheritance, was taken from us, and illegally. So those are crimes. They have to, pay us back, and they have to give back to us. And so most of that is, you live, free. And a lot of jobs won't be necessary. I think it's going to be a lot more about skills and creativity and, you know, your own gifts, those kinds of things that you can share and stuff like that, and things you can sell, you know, personal things that you make and stuff like that. But I don't think it's going to be like the same. We're not going to go back into big like there really would be able to be AI that could do that kind of stuff. Like the humans are going to want to be out experiencing and having adventures, and there's going to be all those new ways of travel, and everything is going to go head towards you know, adventure, going out and really getting to experience the planet, experience other cultures, experience other beings. So, you know, that's what we're going to be headed into. And so, you know, we still have this big part, you know, that we got to go through, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be heavy, and it's going to be, you know, horrible for a lot of people. And so, you know, and I just think that there's going to be, you know, San Francisco, LA, or Hollywood, the Hollywood one. The Hollywood Pride Parade is a pretty big one, and so is the San Francisco. There's a few, like the New York one, like, and there's no telling of all these different places. And the promoters are going to make them bigger. They're going to try and get, you know, the people who want to go out there and celebrate, they're, you know, not going to be thinking. I mean, some of them could be thinking that they're going to get attacked. There could be people who are going to have weapons. There are going to be people who are, there's going to be shoot. I mean, even for the 6th of that first month, then they had people there to set it all up. Like, you know, it was, so they'll do the same thing. Anytime they create a flag, you know, that's, you know, their event, a false one, you know, what they do, they create the whole thing. And, but they've been setting this stage. Like, it's shocking when you hear, like, how the people are thinking and how they're looking at it and how they think, like, these other people are really out to kill them. Like, they've really got these people convinced. And so, and they really have them convinced that they're the good guys, and that they're, you know, because they're the marginalized ones. Like, man, I feel bad. You know, it's going to probably kind of be, it's going to be worse, but it's going to kind of probably be like that, that Florida, I think it was the Florida Dance Club situation, which, you know, that's another one. They just do this shit, man. I said that they can build up that, you know, you're in danger. You know, you're in danger. These people don't like you. And so they go in and do that shit. So, and then, you know, they don't have to go. I mean, like the CIA or the FBI, they're not just going to go walking in their Men in Black suits. Like, I mean, they could totally do that. And then they could just do that little wand in front of people's eyes and hypnotize them and tell them whatever they want to tell them. Some of that shit, like, they have all of that. And then Corey Good was talking about that the mind wiper thing doesn't stay forever. Like, you start having flashes and memories start coming back. That's what was happening to him. He said you start having like these breakthrough memories, and but then, you know, they'll just create it as just, you know, that's a false memory. I just watched a whole movie about that last night, a Lifetime movie. It's an old one. I can't remember who was in it. I don't even know if I would remember their names, but anyways, it had a true story, and it was a girl. It was 3 teenagers, and the girl was spending the night at her friend's house, and I don't know how it ended up, but she was out, like they had a little back building, like, I don't know, like I do, or maybe a converted garage or something, and the kids were out there screwing around and stuff like that. So then the one, so they came in, but the one stayed out there or something. I don't know. But she was found murdered in the morning. But the police decided to blame it on the boy. And so they took him in without the parents' consent. And this is the kind of stuff that was happened to try and change the laws. Like this happened so that they had to change some of the stuff because they put the kid under hypnosis, gave him false memories of doing the crime. The police incinerated all of the evidence. They didn't even look for anybody else. And it was a big fight. Oh man, these parents had to fight to keep their kid out of, they were going to go for the death penalty. And this was a kid too. They were doing oh man, it was intense. But, they create these false memories. And that was just by talking. And the guy who came in to explain about that said that they override their memory, that they can't, the false memories take the place of the real memories. So they can't even get the real memory. So, man, that's just a police station. The people who are, the other letter agencies, those ones are even, and how much that they've been practicing, on people. They practice on prisoners, practice on inmates, not those words, patients in insane asylums, any homeless person, prostitute, anybody who I bet you fucking Jack the Ripper was probably one of them. Anybody who they think is going to be, not counted too much. I mean, because most of the kids who have gone missing, a lot of these kids that they were, dark-skinned kids from, third world countries that they think don't matter. That just makes me so sick. Makes me so sick. Like, but go to Mexico, go to any of those places. Those little kids are sweet as fuck. I mean, they would go with a stranger. They come up, selling you chiclets, and they're all desperate, don't have very much money, and try and use their little cuteness to try and get you to give them a quarter. This world. I'm just going to be so glad after this switchover happens, even though it's going to be devastating and hard, but, we have to go through it. We had to get to the other side. And, anyways, I think no matter what, the next few weeks, just to be assumed something's going to go down. This summer is going to be brutal. Like, I think it's going to be brutal with anger and people, it's going to be brutal. And then I don't know, what, I don't know what's going to be headed for I don't think schools will open again. I don't think the schools will open. Like, there's just going to be chaos, It's just going to keep happening. But the chaos is to get people to stop what they're doing, to get them to do something different, to think different, to look at things different. Everything that is happening is to drill a hole in the boat, to get you to, wake up, do something, put out the fire. And so, it's all to benefit people, but man, it's just so crazy how things have to get so ugly and nasty. God. Every time the weather changes here, man, as soon as it was getting really, really nice and hot, and then all of a sudden it came in totally, totally cold again. It was so fucking cold yesterday. I couldn't even believe it. I had to put a coat on to even go take Stella for a walk. It was so cold. And even with the coat on, I was like, oh my God, I had a long sleeve t-shirt and a coat. And I was like, oh my God, I should have worn a sweater. And I should have worn long underwear under my jeans. Like, motherfucking is cold. And I saw a girl who's in Oregon, and she said that she was out riding her bike, and she was like, it is so freaking hot in the sun, and then like you're sweating, and all of a sudden this ice cold wind comes in, and she's like, what is going on? Where is this coming from? And so whatever, whatever manipulation they're doing with the weather or whatever they've already created that is already in play, I don't know. But here, the weather and what it does, I don't know, in the forest or whatever, but it is really gets me congested. The moisture, all this moisture, it's like super heavy. And I don't know. I just want this. I hope every weekend. I swear to God, I think it's been fucking a year and a half. It's like every weekend. It's like, oh, please, please let this be the weekend. Man, it's just as rough now, like I want this to be the weekend. Of course, I want it to be fucking today. I want it to go down right fucking now. But I don't want, there's just a certain energy, of, it's like this energy of not having much, And then you have like this old, broken down, pair of socks you go to the dollar store, but you love them so much. They're so important to you. You value this pair of socks so much. I don't know where these stabs come from. Fuck. But it is like that. It's like these it's like this whole group of people, they just want this special moment, And they just I don't know. It's just that's the hard part. I can see all this stuff, but it's just when you get to this phase, it's like you can feel people's pain. You can feel that is sad, because like I know, like, no matter what happens is supposed to happen. And I know, like, there's a lot of stuff I know, but there's also the part where you can just feel how people feel. You feel their pain, you feel their suffering. Like that's intense, man. So anyways, just, whatever you do, you just, really listen to your own self. How do you feel? Where do you think you need to be? What do you think you need to be doing? And, that is what everything is, to just keep continuing to get you to center on yourself, really, when you want to get to the microcosm of you, that is what you need to be doing, is keep going into you. Why do you do this? How do you do that? Why do you do that? Why do you want to do that? Who do you want to do that? Just keep doing that, to find yourself in all of this crazy, chaotic world and manipulation and mind control. Just keep finding everything that comes up, anything. Just keep asking yourself all of the questions. Keep finding yourself, because you're in there. You'll find yourself. You're in there, and every trauma, everything that keeps going on and stuff, even though it seems hard and it seems challenging, it seems like you don't want to do another one, it's all happening to help you, to keep you on your toes, to keep pushing you in that direction, keep you going and keep you healing. And, it may be hard, it may be challenging, you may be pissed off as a motherfucker doing it. But when you transition out of the game and you go back to, review, you want that push. You wanted to complete these tasks. You wanted to heal this stuff. So as much as it feels a burden and a challenge, just remember it's there for you. It's helping you along. Just try and change your attitude about it. Try and look at it as a participation in your healing rather than just another occurrence to bring you down. So it's all in how your mind play of the mind game. Like, is how you figure out how to look at things, and that will really help you along in your path. So anyways, just just continue just going. I mean, things are going to keep picking up. Even if you don't have anything you're dealing with right now, just assume something's going to be coming. And it's not to be scared, but don't just know this is the time we're in. We're in a time of change. And every time that you're not having something happen, that's your break, and enjoy your break. But be prepared for the next challenge, because they are going to continue to come until we get through the most tragic part of it. And then it's kind of, once everyone is just exhausted, then we'll start having cleanup and stuff. And there's going to be, and like I said, I mean, there could be a lot more of maneuvering to try and move people into safety zones. I mean, the whole thing about the Mexico and how there was a whole huge evacuation, and they're not telling us about that huge evacuation. They're just telling us about all these people trying to cross in. So, they just play these games. And so, but the evacuate, like, I think Florida is probably, this is a lot of evacuation that they're doing to get people out of Florida, because Florida is going to be underwater, a big part of it. But there's going to be some big storms, I think, that are coming. And so you have two groups. You have a group that is trying to direct you in subtle ways so that you have to go inward, because that's what it's all about. They don't want to just be the next one handing you, spoon feeding you life. You have to come into your own. But you have the other group that is trying to hold you back because they don't want to let go of what they've created. They put a lot of work into us. They put a lot of work into this mind control and keeping us down and repressed and oppressed and suicidal and sad and all. They put a lot of work into it. So anyways, it's a lot to break free from. So just keep on working on it, and just try and keep yourself in the best spirits as you can. And I think it's important to just remember, continue to communicate with your higher self so they can remind you that what you're doing has purpose, it has meaning, and you will be happy once you get through it. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.